How do you get started with WebMCP, the Web Model Context Protocol? WebMCP is a newly proposed standard that offers a way for websites to communicate more clearly with AI agents. The main goal is to make it easier for AI agents to understand how do you actually use a website on behalf of a user. So instead of the agent having to do their best to figure things out with the website's design, with the HTML structure, with WebMCP, you can define specifically how AI agents should interact with your website's functionality. How do you use this form? How do you use this particular feature on my website? This is especially useful for common actions like searching a website or submitting a contact form or other types of forms on a website. It might also be useful for completing workflows that rely on some type of user interaction. Now, there are two implementation approaches to WebMCP. The first of these approaches is the imperative API. This is JavaScript based, and this approach requires registering tools through JavaScript. It offers a lot of flexibility, but it requires quite a bit of development work to really define and structure tool behavior in the code. This is better for really complex actions. It's probably better for really custom applications. Honestly, I probably wouldn't recommend starting here unless you have a very complicated website where you do see that agents are struggling to interact with it right now. The other way that you can work with WebMCP is with the declarative API. This is HTML based and a lot simpler to set up and start working with. So the declarative approach allows you to add a set of attributes directly to existing HTML forms and inputs. So you're modifying existing HTML. In many cases, this can be implemented in just a few minutes. It's not even necessarily that hard or that complicated. So let's walk through the declarative API and the attributes we have available that you can start to use. For starters, there are three attributes that are added to the form element. The first of these is an attribute called tool name. This is a clear and descriptive name that you're giving the form. And the idea is that this is to help the AI agents understand what the tool is meant to do. So you might have a contact form and you can give the tool name as contact form. You might have a search function on your website that allows people to search products. So you could give that form the name search products. Right? You don't want to make anything too cryptic here. You want to find something short, descriptive, that really helps AI agents quickly understand why they may want to use this particular form. To help AI agents further, we have another attribute called tool description. So tool description is a short explanation of what the form does. This should really provide more context than the name alone. So if we have a form called search products, then the description might be search products available on this website. Or if we have contact form as the name, then the tool description might be submit a request to contact customer support. Again, the idea is to help AI agents really clearly understand why they would use this particular form, what kinds of tasks it could help complete. Then we have another attribute called tool auto submit. So tool auto submit is a Boolean value, which means it's either true or false. And this controls whether the AI agents should automatically submit the form after filling it out. You want to be a little careful with this one and only use it where AI agents should really submit something on a user's behalf automatically. Search forms are probably okay for this, right? Agents can fill out the search form, they can submit it automatically as they're looking for information on a website. That's pretty safe. Contact forms, anything involving personal information, sensitive information probably shouldn't be auto-submitted. You probably want to turn that off there. And that means that the AI agent is going to kick that back to the human who was working with the AI agent. And it's going to say, hey, you have to now go review this form and submit it yourself. And again, for anything with personal information, sensitive information, certainly anything with payment information, probably don't want to auto-submit. So be careful how you think through that one. Next, we have input level attributes, and there are two attributes that we can add to individual input fields. The first of these is tool param title. Tool param title is a human readable title that you give the input field. And this helps the AI agent understand what exactly the field represents. Why would you use this particular field? So if you have a field that captures somebody's name, then tool param title is probably going to be set to something like full name. Tool param description is a more detailed explanation of what should be entered into the field. So for example, you might say here, enter your full legal name. Again, the idea is to give the AI agent some type of clue about why they would want to use these particular fields when completing a task for a user. If these attributes are not provided, that's okay. They're optional on input fields, and AI agents can fall back to existing signals. So they can use label elements, or maybe they can use ARIA attributes that are on the form. But the more you can provide this information, you're explicitly defining what these fields do. And the idea of these fields of everything with WebMCP is removing ambiguity for AI agents. That way you can help AI agents have a more reliable interaction with your website. Now there's one last question I want to address here, which is, should you even do this? Should you actually implement WebMCP? And my take is, so long as it's an easy addition, which I think the declarative API is a pretty easy addition for most websites, then why not? Go ahead and add these attributes in. It won't break any existing functionality. It won't change anything about your website's design. And by adding in these fields, you can likely improve agentic interaction so that way AI agents coming to your website can have an easier time figuring out how to complete tasks on your website. AI agents don't have to make their best guess about how forms work and instead know exactly how a form works on your website. If it becomes more difficult to implement WebMCP, if you have more complex tasks, maybe then you need to do some evaluation about how many agents are using your website right now, if agents are struggling with certain parts of your website. But again, if it's relatively easy to add these fields to existing forms, why not? Go ahead and add that in and get yourself ready for what more than likely will be a growing amount of agentic visitors coming to websites in the near future. If you have questions about this, or if you need help implementing anything with WebMCP or other aspects of working with AI agents, please let me know. This is the kind of work that we do for clients all the time at Elementive. You can email me at matthew@elementive.com. If you liked this video, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.